have two more questions left, and then we will be done for tonight. But this first question is going to be geared at you, Rick. So what do you think about DSOs? Is your model, Rick, similar to what DSOs do? And if not, how is it any different?
The delivery system for dental care is absolutely changing. DSOs really are not the focus. The practice of dentistry has been evolving. The cost to provide dental care has been increasing, and need to consolidate physical plant into more efficient delivery systems is the real conversation. Multi-specialty practices are not new. So it's really about business systems and the ability to build more efficient care. DSOs, if you need really solid business knowledge, all right, systems and money, they're able to accelerate this trend that we've already seen in medical. So basically they're mimicking a lot of the people there it came out of medical for the roll-up. We've all seen independent professional offices in the medical arena that are no longer independent, they're all part of a larger group. So we're familiar with that model and they know how it works, because again, by consolidating and enhancing the work environment, they end up in a spot they can be more productive. So there are many, many excellent practitioners that have already moved into that model that are already working with DSOs. So DSOs are not for bad dentists. As a matter of fact, the majority of them are really fine practitioners. They're excellent doctors. Only now they've taken a small step towards, they monetize their practice and they continue in the path of practitioner in a facility that's more modernized, with better equipment, better staffing, and all the other things that the back end provides. Corporate models have this, also a value quality of care. They value it at a very high level. So, with that being said, when you look at the ABA health policy, all right, I mean, I'm going to quote a little bit of Dental Economics magazine, also some of my favorite magazines. In 2005, a little over 84% of the dentists owning private practices, and 63% work for themselves. Roll it forward to 2019, the number drops to 76%, with only 50% of the practicing dentists working for themselves. These numbers are accelerating, all right? And I know that during the pandemic and post-pandemic, I have seen a lot of movement of professional practices that couldn't really deal with all of the stress we had, PPE, the new regulatory issues, the unknowing, all of the other structural situation that came into place with COVID. They just couldn't handle it. So a lot of practices either failed or sold to the DSOs. I know in my area alone, I heard a number the other day, it was astounding, that almost 100 practices in my region rolled into DSOs, big roll-ups. So pandemics accelerate economic trends, no question about it. We're seeing it now. But the model of dentistry, whether it's the solo practitioner, all right, or the small group, or the larger group, all right, your model's not disappearing, but it's surely been impacted by these changes. The financial efficiency of larger shared work environments, a business plan with SOPs, and the buying power, sheer buying power, all right, the redistribution of all the back office work and the well-focused business professionals that they have is the reason why we all have to be on our A game. All right, there's little doubt that DSOs are growing, but I really have a very limited view of DSO model. My understanding is, what they're handling all the back end stuff, all this stuff we don't want to do, all the letters and all of the employment law and the benefits and the payroll and all the other multi-letter, letter nuisances that we have to all deal with. They're doing that, and they're leaving the practitioner to do what we know how to do, and they're leaving them with clinical control. So I don't think it's necessarily bad. I believe it's here to stay. It's just so similar to what the medical model has already proven to be successful. All right, they because of their economics, all right, because of the fact they have something we don't have. They have structure, they have business plans, all right, and they have the professionals that are educated and have the experience executing on those plans. I can't say I have that, and I spend my entire existence in handling the business dentistry for my solo practice. I do believe they have better systems in place and better people to execute. With that, we have some things that they might not have yet. All right. I don't believe we're ever going to go away, but I do believe they're here to stay. All right. We have very, very strong relation to our community and years of providing care to our patients. Our patients generally stay in our dental practice until either they're moving out of an area or we've disappointed them. So if we can look at why a patient gets disappointed, all right, and that comes back to communication expectations, I think that we're on equal footing with large corporate DSOs. Now you have to understand there's a DSO and there are IDSOs. There are a lot of practices that are still under the same name that we know them under, but they're actually owned by a corporate entity. The doctor is taking a chance at that point to monetize their physical practice and still work in dentistry and still get very well compensated for the work they're doing. So I don't really see a major issue with DSOs. I know they do a lot of things better than I can do just because of the sheer bulk of people that are available to do these things. So I think that's a similarity from my small group practice to a corporate setting that has people that can really walk the walk and talk the talk, and they have the professional training to be able to pull off certain things that we're going to have to reach out to other people outside of our practice. So, that's my read on where we are in this marketplace. I think we're all going to be okay. I think that they're here to stay. And I think it's something that we have to get used to the fact that a DSO is not a DSO is not a DSO. There are still some very, very fine practitioners working in that model. So we can't go under the idea of bigger bad dentistry, bigger cutting corners. They're not, it's not necessarily consistent. So I think that's a challenge. That's something we all have to be cautious of to take that approach.
Thank you for that. And, Carolina, I know you practiced in Europe, you practiced primarily in Madrid, Spain. Is there a model like that there? And what is your opinion on it?
It's not exactly the same model, the one that exists in Spain. The model that exists there is a franchise model. It is based also on the fact that dentists don't want to be dealing with marketing issues and with a lot of logistical issues, but it doesn't handle, that's destroying. The model that exists in Spain has destroyed the dental world in Spain, the dental profession. Many young people coming out of uni that wanted to become real dentists for the real belief of treating people well, moved out of Spain, went to France, went to Germany, went to other countries to practice because it's become impossible in Spain. That being said, and in France, the same thing is beginning to happen now. There are models of big insurance companies taking over. That being said, when I first read about the model of DSOs in the US years ago, when this whole thing started, I thought it was a good thing because I thought, my nightmare in my practice and in my journey was having to deal with all the business side of it. I was not a business person. Maybe I'm more now than I was before. And I did not know how to deal with this. And I spent hours, I would finish with patients at 6 p.m. and stay in my office until 10 p.m. doing paperwork and trying to find ways to do the marketing and the productivity and making those numbers go up and lowering my overhead. And I didn't know how to do that. So my take on it is that what we need to do, if we don't want this to become a definite solution, and not necessarily a good solution, because like Rick said, some DSOs are good, but not all DSOs are good. So if you don't want the profession to be taken over by this type of system, it means we doctors need the training. When you're spending $500,000 in university and then $500,000 minimum in building a practice, so this whole thing is costing you $1 million. You have to be a business person to be able to get an ROI and be able to see how you build it so that ASAP you start making money and not, become flooded with debt. So my take would be get an MBA before you become a dentist. Maybe schools should ask for an MBA before they allow you to get a dental diploma, or You should not be allowed to open a dental office if you don't have both MBA and dental diploma. Maybe something like that has to happen, not just 2 classes of economics like I had in university, 2 classes of economics and some boring classes on statistics. It's like, what the hell? I knew nothing when I came out. The little I knew was taught to me, the little I know on dentistry or what I know was taught to me by experience, by my mentors, and by my American friends, because my European friends have no idea of business in the dental. So there is a reason why DSOs exist, and the reason is real, the reason is there. The business side of our profession is a nightmare for those of us who don't have a business mind.